All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Kingdom of the Kael Isles. Yes, this is one of my custom D&D games, and the people below me are the people crazy enough to let me hold their characters' lives in my hot little hands. Uh,
What were we?
today, um, they've the party themselves has recently returned to the prime material plane. Found out that the Kale Isles have been taken over by dragons, and after getting some help from the Eladrin from the Verdant Empire, they have now started sending troops out and themselves going out to try to recruit allies, to learn more about what's been going on the last few months they've been gone, and just overall try and work their way back to an island they had so much fun at before, so they can eventually get to Elysium and back to uh, where the gods are to return the Dark Lady to her position. So, yeah, last week we left off with you guys leaving via the south exit of the ruins as you sent the resistance fighters and the serrated death south to scout the very bottom of Kale Isle, and you sent Aramis east to scout the island you will eventually have to take over in order to reach the Shadowfell and eventually the Elysium and Tartarus. So, um, having been here before once a while ago, I believe everyone was Willow with you guys at that point too.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so
Nope.
Kata, Avok, and Fade uh, are all familiar with this. Willow, this will be your first time, but you were
But I decided I was going to prep one walk.
oh yeah, you're still going to go that general
Okay,
direction.
okay,
Um, you can just fly over it instead of
okay.
walking. So, uh, Willow, you were familiar with this area just due to the fact that every kid in the Platinum City was told never, never go up the mountain, never go in there. That place was evil, and there were hags there that would, you know, rip out your souls, and you'd never see your mother again. And so, seeing what all the legends were about um, has been interesting, to say the least. So, as you guys uh, as you guys as you guys got ready, Kata started to focus on the natural elements around you, and you guys started to feel the wind pick up, and it got faster and faster, started swirling around you. You started feeling like the wind was actually blowing through you, and at first it was just a feeling, but then you could actually see particles of dust and things going through your skin as it became more and more translucent. Suddenly, you were all clouds of air. As Fade dog paddles. Um, and Willow, just before you lost control of your vocal cords and the ability to cast somatic aspects of spells, you were able to create a telepathic bond for the first hour, so you guys can still communicate beyond just blowing each other.
Oh my gosh, that was very funny.
This is some
I
weird shit.
thought it was hilarious. Thank you, Wild Bronco, for the Prime subscription.
Oh, nice.
So, you guys are wind. What do you want to do?
How do you fly this thing?
Can we be like a tornado together and just be like a whirlwind and just go super fast? Is that how this works, Kata?
Maybe. First time I used this spell myself.
Oh,
Kata, you do notice something's slightly different when casting this spell. As you kind of reached out to start controlling the elements, you almost felt this pulse through the ground. And as you coalesce the winds to replace your body with elemental air, you could actually, for a moment, it almost felt as if you could see the wind currents.
So, like trapper waves.
Kind of. It was very different to you. You cast nature spells hundreds of times throughout your life, but this you almost felt like you were drawing your power not just from nature, but from the planet itself.
Okay, which way we supposed to go?
No one remembers.
Through forest?
You guys know you need to go south, roughly, and if you fly
Sure.
straight up, 100 feet or so, you probably see pretty well. Right now, you're surrounded by, peaks and crags and stuff like that. But
seriously, what do we do? How's this work? This is.
Buck, you've been a bird before. Just think of it like that.
you do get this feeling that you kind of just will the wind to blow in a certain direction. You will follow it.
Have you ever seen a cloud facepalm before?
Suddenly, a single leaf flies up from the ground and just rests for a moment.
Can we learn to fly these things?
Yeah, it's innate. You just know how to do it naturally. So you can kind of will yourself up, and you also notice you are much faster than you've ever been in your life by a factor of I think it's 5.
Yeah, it's 300 feet.
Okay.
Ava, even with your impressive speed, this is beyond anything you've ever done.
Yep, so pretty much the first time I do this and I'm like, whoa, shit!
So you guys, for the next 5 to 10 minutes. You fly around a little bit, getting a hold of your new abilities, and you also start to realize how to differentiate your friends from just the other wind currents. And it's difficult, but possible. The telepathy helps because you can kind of point it, and if the little group of wind answers back.
So we need to for sure make sure everyone knows the directions in case we get split up, because we're gonna lose this communication pretty quick here. So I think I'm gonna like draw a line. No, we have a nice map here that changes. So we're gonna go revert back to normal before we leave, and we can discuss. We go to this island and we meet here.
If you revert back to normal, oh no, you can switch.
Do it at will.
Never mind. I'll just be over here, guy.
So is everyone pretty good? We clear on where we need to meet up if we get lost or separated?
Yeah, sure.
Just stay
We'll
close.
do our best. And, I mean, you can send us a message if we get lost.
I make sure that I inform not only the DL but also the God Empress's consort, Prince Consort. What my plan is. I'm going to make sure we're alone. Whatever her name is, they're all Eladrin in charge or don't work. I shouldn't be in charge, and I know that. I don't like it. I don't want to be. But I let him know, specifically him, and he can discern who he trusts from there. But timetable, we don't really have it. We hope to be back in whatever we estimate. I mean, I'll message him in like a week if we don't make it back by then.
You did plan on Aramis and Serrated Death being back within roughly a month, or sending an update.
Yep. So I think I'll just let him know that I'll touch base in a week with a short message, and I'll explain how it works. I'm sure he already knows, but be receptive. If I'm able, I will contact you around this time in a week.
And you get a very curt response of confirmed.
I just shake my head, and whenever everyone else is ready to go, we can head out.
Yeah, let's go.
So now, having a pretty decent idea of where you're at, you guys fly up and look over the island itself, and are a little taken aback at just how vibrant the world is in this area. You can see this overgrown forest laying out for miles beneath you, and the greens of the trees are bright, and the browns of the wood are solid, and you almost feel as if you're back in the Feywild. And as you look, you can see the mushroom forest you traveled through previously. You're not 100% certain how large it was before, because you never saw it from above. But as you look at it, it looks smaller. You can see the mushrooms themselves are hard to pick out from this distance. And when you walked through, they were these giant tree-like mushrooms. As you start flying, you traveling over faster than you've ever gone before, and it takes you about 3 hours to actually get to being above the mushroom forest. Did you guys want to investigate or just fly on over?
Just fly over.
Okay.
Fade's afraid of meeting the people he destroyed their homes of. He doesn't stop.
Okay. So you guys fly past that and keep going. And as you continue to travel south, Kata, you're the first person to notice something, followed very quickly by the rest of the party. As you're flying over Kata, you suddenly feel something wrong. You're not exactly sure what, but it's almost as if you just suddenly started breathing in fetid air. And as you try to figure out what's going on, you look down and you can see the forest below you. There's something different about it. Some of the trees look like they're not being affected by the wind at all. As Kata kind of stops, the rest of you guys start to notice this as well. You're not quite as keen as Kata is, but something about the forest below you seems off.
How long has it been since we started flying?
It's been too long.
Yeah, you've been flying at this point about 6 hours.
Oh god.
So you
So we
traveled
still got plenty of time
decent-
on Windwalk, but
Yeah.
Oh man.
but we can't really talk.
You do know the area you're getting to is the outskirts of where they thought the Emerald Dragon might have set up their lair.
So,
But the area itself was massive, where the dragon could be. So,
would my druid instinct tell me that to like go down there to see what's going on?
you're not really sure, to be honest. You guys are pretty high up in the air because it was just faster, and you came from pretty high up in the mountains. If you want to get closer, you can. It'll take another 5 minutes to get close enough to examine. But from where
Okay.
you are, you don't really know.
I motion towards it and try to fly, descend downward for a closer look.
Okay. How close to the treetops do you want to get?
Close enough that like I can try to see what's possibly what's going on.
Okay. So as you get close, you guys are about a good 1,000 feet in the air easily. And Kata, as you start descending, as you get closer and closer, you start to notice some of the leaves seem to reflect a little more sunlight than you think they should. Like they're covered in something very reflective. And as you get even closer, you start to realize some of the trees themselves are very stiff and unmoving and give off this very similar gleam. And as you get even closer, you start to realize what you thought were trees are not.
I think I know.
Okay. What do you think?
Dragon.
Good idea. So you immediately stop as soon as you get this inkling of, oh no, it's a dragon, and you sit there for another like 10 minutes, just focusing. The rest of the party, you guys watch as Kata's form goes straight down and then just stops about 60 feet above the tree line and is completely motionless.
But we do notice it.
Yeah, you notice Kata. Again, you guys been flying together for hours. You now can pick each other out pretty well.
I mean, is it? So my first thought is maybe she fell asleep.
Back, down towards Kata, and like
Okay.
the moment he gets to her level, like it's just
Willow kind of
Sure
keeps a
is.
little bit of distance, but goes around the same level, but just, a little distance, and not all right in the same spot.
Okay.
And
I
what's there?
Let's look for like some sort of open clearing to like land.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Wow. So, from where you are, you're relatively close. You don't see a clearing where you are. So you go up another 50 to 100 feet and keep looking around. And you do see a clearing about 1,000 yards away that you think will be pretty easy to land in, give you enough visibility so that if something is coming towards you, you can defend yourselves. And like I said, it's about 1,000 yards away from this weird, shiny, non-moving tree.
Yeah, I motion the others to head there so we can like change back.
so we all follow you essentially.
It's just one tree?
That was all Kata focused on. If you want
Okay.
to look a little more, you can. I'd have you roll me an investigation check.
Sure. $19.
So, as Kata goes off, you try and figure out why she stopped, and you see similar thing where there's a tree and it's not being affected by the wind at all, and it seems to shine more than it should. The light reflects off it. And as you look, you can see a little bit further down another thing, just kind of barely poking up. Another, and over an area of probably about 2,000 square yards, you see probably about half a dozen of these things just kind of poking out, but you can't really tell what it is.
So, Kata, you've reverted to normal?
Yeah, you guys are following me to that clearing so we can untransform and tell you guys, oh god, that's dragon we are looking for.
I was asking, like, did you go down and start shifting back? Because I know that takes a minute, so we'd probably all do that.
I'm gonna
We'll
say
take that as a yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess so.
So yeah, if possible, I'm gonna find a spot that's not in direct line of sight of whatever that is, behind another tree, and transform back.
Okay.
It seems legit.
So all of you find places where you feel safe.
Oh boy.
Sorry, doing a couple different things at once. All of you find places that you feel safe, and uh, um, transform back. As you all kind of regain your form, you look around and you all kind of stop and listen. You don't hear anything too out of the ordinary, and you can hear animals sounds in the forest and wind in the trees. Nothing immediately giving you the impression something bad is about to happen.
This is so bad.
So what the hell was that about?
I think those were dragon scales.
Making the trees not move?
Those definitely not look like leaves.
They didn't look like trees either.
Hmm.
Maybe it's the encampment. Could
Maybe.
be camouflaged.
We could check it out just in case.
What kind of bird life have we seen in this area? Anything?
Good question.
Or would it be natural for a hawk to live here?
Yeah, wouldn't be completely out of the ordinary. Because this is pretty heavily wooded, hawks tend to like trees and open like plains as well. It'd be more natural to see maybe an owl or an eagle.
Okay. So what's the plan, Kata? Do you want to check this place out, or should we continue? Because I don't see any evidence of a dragon. I understand what you saw, but I don't. That's too big of an area. There's no way that's the dragon.
Maybe we check it out just in case.
Why don't I send my hawk in first, so that we don't go in? And she pops out the familiar of the hawk and sends it out.
Okay.
I like not putting myself into danger. Let's do this.
Okay.
So Willow, you send your hawk familiar up, and it surveys surrounding area and sees what you saw when you were in the air. About 1,000-ish yards away, there's something there.
I'd send it to go closer, and then I'm going to watch. So I put a...
I believe you have a limit of 100 feet to be able to see.
Yeah, you can like send it out
that's right,
further,
that's
but
right.
you have to give it instructions to do stuff.
Yeah. So if you want to send it out, you can, but you only be able to see it for about 100 feet, and then you gotta hope its bird charade abilities are good.
Can I keep it up while we're wind?
I don't see why not.
Then I'm
You
gonna
can't cast
become wind
while you're
again.
wind, but if you do it beforehand,
No, but if I
yeah,
have her out, I'm gonna go back to being wind and
okay,
tell them this is what I'm doing. Go back and get closer so that I can
okay.
send the hawk in.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check with your hawk's statistics.
The hawk.
Let's see. There's my
Got it. Investigation or perception?
In investigation, since you've already
Okay.
perceived it.
Oh,
That's bad. So hawks have an intelligence modifier of -4.
uh-huh.
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
Fantastic.
This is 0 then. Mm-hmm.
The hawk flies forward, and you're kind of watching from your
Mm-hmm.
airness. You see it get closer, closer, and closer to the tree. You start seeing more minute details as it gets closer. Things like the, the leaves seem to have facets. Strange. Leaves don't have facets, they have chlorophyll. And it gets closer, closer. And then you hear a thud as it runs into the tree
Cool.
and falls into the undergrowth.
Donk.
As she falls, I snap it back. Like I just snap out of existence and fly back myself.
As you land a few moments later, your hawk familiar comes, slightly bruised, mostly in its ego. Lands on your shoulder. Starts to preen itself.
Is it hurt?
She,
Just its
Ellie.
pride.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I gently
did-
pet it.
It didn't hit hard enough to hurt much of anything. It was just more of a. There, as much as it has an intelligence of what, 3?
2.
2. Yeah, it's still sentient enough to know when it does something stupid.
Yep. Very perceptive,
Try.
just not very smart. So I couldn't really tell, but I think maybe they're emeralds.
Mm-hmm.
Trees made of emeralds.
Say like the trees at that point are about 20, 30 feet high. So for an emerald to be that size, be the largest emerald you've ever seen.
Do I know much about dragons?
Say again.
What have I read about? Would I have read much about dragons?
It's
Would I
possible.
know anything?
Go ahead and roll an investigation check with disadvantage, because this is something that would have been attempted to be hidden and forgotten in the Eladrin. Or not investigation,
I see.
history. Sorry.
Cool.
I'm trying to remember if you read something about it.
Yeah. That's really good. That's a 22.
Wow. So, going back, you remember when you were under the control of the Eladrin, under the Gaia spell. You were given access to research materials no one else had. And while you weren't under control of your own body, you could kind of direct yourself. If you could convince yourself that something would help you to fulfill the goal you had been given, you could kind of manipulate yourself into doing other things. And one of the things was when you were in this pretty vast Eladrin library, the heart of the Platinum City, most people didn't even know existed. You saw a section that just kind of caught your eye that contained history beyond what most Eladrin knew. And you convinced yourself that, well, there's a good chance that some part of history, maybe a race no longer here, might have had some clues I could use. And so you, for about a week, you were able to go and spend 20 or 30 minutes a day learning this history. And you did find a book on dragons and some of their habits. The ones you had the most info on were chromatic and metallic dragons. Specifically the red and blue chromatic dragons and the gold and silver metallic dragons, because they had been in this area most recently. But you remember reading just literally a single 2-page section on the gem dragons, and it listed a few and some of the things that they did. And you remember emerald dragons were neither benevolent nor tyrannical, but they enjoyed observing the mortal races. They didn't like interacting with the mortal races, and they were very protective of their lairs. And that was all you can remember, unfortunately.
But I have an understanding that they create a layer, and that has something
do.
to do with
And that's a dragon thing in general. I guess you would have read emerald dragons tend to build their layers underground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely tell everyone that.
Okay.
Maybe we should keep circling and look for the wood elves. But we might have to try finding something underground if that's where the dragon might be. Just have to be careful not to find it before we find them.
Right. That good
We have a little
camp.
longer.
I mean, is this the area that the dragon was supposed to be in? Because I thought we were going to have to do like island hopping.
No,
to get
it was supposed to be in this middle forest area.
Okay. All right.
So you guys are roughly in the right spot to find it.
We're in a clearing, right?
Small.
Yeah, probably about 30 foot in diameter. And clearing is relative to it's an area where the top foliage or the canopy, there we go, allows significant amounts of light through, and you can see the sky. But there's still some trees there.
Fair enough.
And you guys are in a pretty heavily wooded area, so.
AFOC's gonna look around, see if they can find any sign of wood elves, like tracks or bows and arrows or something. Like he's been around it before, so he would have some idea what to look for.
Go ahead and make a survival check with advantage.
Sounds good. Thank God for that advantage because the first roll was shit. But that's a 25.
Okay. So, looking around, one thing you know from spending a fair amount of time, wood elves in general, if they don't want to be tracked, you won't track them.
Right.
So in general, most people they're trying to track them, they will look for footprints or, just things that you would use to track anyone else. You know, if you want to track wood elves, you need to look for things that they left intentionally for other wood elves to find. Trails blazed in very specific patterns, places where you would have a very easy way to observe an area without being seen. Things like that. And looking around in the area you're in, you find nothing, unfortunately.
Fuck.
But that does kind of give you at least the insight that the specific area you're in, they haven't been through probably at all. So if there are wood elves here, which you assume there are, they have avoided this area for some reason.
No one's been here.
Okay.
Then we shouldn't probably be here either.
I message Avok telepathically. Should your friend maybe make this introduction? Or at least tell us how we should approach?
Can you get a message to her?
Can try.
Just tell her we're around.
May I recommend we get the fuck out of this area, though? If they aren't here either, maybe we shouldn't be.
We can walk and talk.
Well, we have a little longer. We can do wind.
Let-
Why don't we go out the way we came?
Wind lifts me up where we belong.
Yeah, so
Open sky where we probably won't die.
Junior.
Now, we, oh man. So, even though I've been perusing Willow's spellbook to try to learn things, I don't remember everything she's capable of. Do you, Willow, have the spell Silence available?
no.
Okay. Then,
Super useful spell.
if you're going to stick around this particular area, we should... I don't know. This seems kind of silly, but maybe we should, get off the ground, go in a tree or something?
I
Because
mean, I have other things that can silence around if we want to stay on the ground.
I just
It's a
feel
hard
like
little spell.
I feel like we shouldn't be here at all, and if we make ourselves known here, we're just gonna die.
Yep.
Can you give us a smaller version of the best hotel I've ever seen in my life?
Mhm. I mean, I can do the private sanctum, which just cover and prevents divination and that sort of thing, or I can make the mansion here, but I don't think we want to keep it here.
I guess I would know how my stuff works, and I know I can't do it from inside there. So I will ask.
From the mansion, no. Sanctum, yes.
I'll just ask Kata if she thinks she can like set up a perimeter to keep watch for us, and I will try to contact Avok's friends.
Hey. Yeah, is there chance I can do that?
Yeah. How do you want to do it? Do you want to patrol yourself? Do you want to? I believe you have a summon animal companion spell. If you wanted to do
I,
something like that, I mean, you have options. You just have to pick how you want to do it.
I didn't pack summon animal today.
Okay.
Whatever you end up doing, I will cast an alarm around this at least.
I'll feel better with that. And since I don't want to spend an hour casting other spells, I will pop out a tiny little raven from my interdimensional space as well, and have it run circles above us to look out. And then I'm going to cast Sending towards
So,
what is her face's
real
name?
quickly, Willow, remind me. Alarm. You actually have to walk the perimeter of the area you're alarming, right?
Hmm?
Okay.
I mean, well, an alarm. I know on Critical Role they usually have them walk it. I don't think technically the spell's written that way.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
It's, you set an alarm against. I can read it to you right now if you want.
Okay, go for it.
You set an alarm against unwanted intrusion. Choose an area within range no larger than 20-foot cube. Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the wooded area. I can make creatures that don't set it off, and choose whether it's a mental or audible alarm.
Okay. So 20-foot cube is going to be smaller than even the clearing itself.
Sure.
But you go ahead and do that. Fade is as you cast the sending spell.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to Soul.
Okay. You sit there and you kind of weave words into the weave itself and send them forth, trying to contact a specific person. What's the range? Is that just on the same plane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as you do that, you send it out. The spell works.
It's a big spell slot. I will say, Soul, this is Avok's friend Fade. We've met before. He's trying to get in touch with you. How can we do that if we're in the area? I think that works. That all fits. Yeah.
You wait.
You can reply. She knows, though. She's done the spell.
A minute passes. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Nothing's happened. You don't think the spell failed,
Sure.
but you've got no response.
Yep. Looks like she's not willing to help me, at least, Avok. I mentioned you.
If I know her, she's already sending people.
That's good, I guess. As I look around very, very nervously.
You're sure
This has been here.
I didn't give away our position, so hopefully they don't ambush us too hard.
it won't take them long to track us.
Well, we haven't walked anywhere.
Now that we know what we're looking for, why don't we turn into wind and just go up a little bit and watch for them to enter the area, so we can ambush them. Well, not really. I'm not trying to hurt.
Not ambush, but at least find them.
Yes, that.
Let's have fun.
Now remember, it takes
All right.
a long time to come back to ourselves, and they can kill us in that little bit of time.
Oh, God.
So hide
We're not
before you
invincible.
turn.
And I don't want to be responsible for killing ourselves.
You're not going to be. We're okay.
It's fun to
So
try
we've
to
got
kill everyone.
probably.
I mean, you are
We tried that yesterday.
puffs of wind. So it took you guys a little bit of time to be able to locate you, and you knew where you were.
Soul, what do your elf eyes see?
My
We've got what,
brand.
an hour left? Probably an hour.
What?
So
Yeah,
six
about
when we
hour and
landed.
a half ish.
Okay, cool.
Say this whole ordeal took about half an hour.
Okay.
So you guys go back up. Everybody make me perception checks.
Okay.
Plus a billion.
I was not aware clerics had that high a perception score.
26. Well, actually 29.
Damn.
Druids.
No, what? It was 26. I'm calculating wrong.
Still druids. 14.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
28.
Damn.
What's
So-
the last ones?
Willow, you're still kind of transfixed on the emerald tree, trying to figure out, okay, if it was that high, because you know emeralds and precious gems themselves can be and are used quite frequently as material components for magic. And so you're sitting there going, wonder what kind of things I could make with emerald that size. Avok, you're kind of searching and you're looking for signs of elves, but you don't have a huge optimistic view that you're gonna see them before they see you, just because they're wood elves. And even with a dragon in the area, they've lived in this area for hundreds of years, and you guys have been here for hundreds of seconds. Kata, as you're looking around, you're trying to look for some telltale sign of people traveling, and you're not really getting anything. You do notice a few more areas where those kind of frozen trees are, but beyond that, you don't see anything that really catches your eye. The same is true for you, Fade. You looking around, but you're not really seeing anything from above the tree line. How long do you guys stay up there for?
Well, we didn't actually say it, but Avok was pretty confident they would find us. I feel like we would have said, how long do you think it'll take them? And then whatever he answered to that question is how long we'd approximately stay up.
I mean, I probably would have also mentioned we shouldn't land back in the same place so close to those crazy trees. We should find someplace else.
Yeah.
So, I would imagine further south.
We're
Anyone
technically north of the area. To the south is those trees.
Oh,
Oh, hey.
Because you traveled
Cool.
from the north going south, and you stopped
Right.
at the northern edge of this location. So to the south of you is that area.
okay.
Sorry,
So-
I didn't make that
Then
clear.
not near it.
Cool workaround, Willow, with your bird. You could telepathically have it near us and just have it fly in a direction, and I certainly would follow it. So, like, even though we can't talk right now, like, if you want to go a certain way, I know I'd
Let's go
follow it.
up. Yeah, I mean, it can't fly as fast as we can.
Damn,
So it's
throwing
that.
shade on your bird?
Bird, single bird tier.
We're probably
Oh no,
Well,
Jody has the avian
can
flu.
can the hawk help us find a better place to land? I don't know, that's probably
fine.
investigation again.
Your
Not
hawk
useful.
is going to have better eyesight than you do. Just
Right.
always. So if if you want to use it to scout an area, you can send it off to find an area, and then have it
Yeah.
come back while you guys are
Yeah.
watching.
Definitely that.
Okay. So after about 45 minutes, bird comes back, and you guys communicate to the point where you got a pretty good idea about 200 yards to the east. There's another clearing that's not quite as open, so it's not quite as obvious where it is, that you think you could land
Okay.
pretty safely in.
All right. Then I have it lead the way.
Okay.
I follow the chicken.
So, as you guys get there, you've got about 30 minutes left of your Windwalker spell. Do you guys all revert back?
Ava does.
Okay.
I think I'd probably do a perimeter in the tree line, like down on the level, a couple circles out before I come back to our clearing, just to see what's around us.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
It's not good today. 5. Hawk helped me, but I didn't say that.
So look around. You see trees. They seem
Yep.
very tree-like.
Mhm.
None of them seem to have facets.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll come back to the circle and then the hawk to do the same thing.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep. Makes more sense that way.
I believe.
No, it didn't
Hawks-
make more sense.
I believe they have an advantage on perception.
Oh, they
checks.
do, which is great when you don't roll a 3 and a 4.
It's gotta have a decent perception. What's it get up to?
Let's see.
Oh, that's real bad. That's real bad.
Plus 4, so it's an 8.
Okay, my turn. I go land and send my bird and look with my eyes. Oh, Jesus. My eyes say 17.
So you see Willow and her bird like double helix flying and going around and doing all these really cool tricks. She comes back, you see her just kind of talking to the bird. Do you see anything? No. Do you see anything? No, I was doing this really cool corkscrew thing. Fade, as you look around, it's trees. Without doing a real in-depth investigation, the most you can really tell is that you don't see anything in the trees that looks dangerous right now. Like no leopards or tigers or anything.
All right, so I'm not saying that I know anything about it. I'm asking, would the druidic language, the way they like do leaves and stuff, is that like a known thing? Or is that something that they keep super secret?
Yeah, I think it would be like really super secret.
Kind of. You talking about druidcraft?
No, the
No,
druidic
druidic.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be along the lines of what's it called?
Thieves' Cant, probably.
Yeah.
Along that line, not quite as secretive, but it's not something you would have picked up.
Well,
Not
if I
without
at least know of
working
its
with
existence, I would ask Kata if she reverts back to form, if there's any signs that because we had at least 2 druids that we saved with Soul's group. If there's any way you can contact the druids, if there are any left here.
Would I have
As we wait for Soul to find us.
Yeah, after I advised for Vuri, he uses his back to a tree and God, it took him forever.
I
Deliberately.
hide.
Yeah, God, put it all on me when she can barely read and write.
Well, again, druidic is um, a little bit more symbol and pictograph focused than a written language.
Ah,
So there's you'll see signs and growths in certain patterns in that. So and with you being not only a druid but being raised in the wild, you would probably be more comfortable communicating in druidic than you would
wow.
common, because it's very similar to how you would have communicated with mama and other
Oh.
animals through thoughts and feelings more than specific words.
Yeah, of course she hates you, dude.
Fade suddenly, like, while looking for a place to hide, remembers how much Soul hates him and then casts Death Ward on himself.
Pretty much Loki seeing the Hulk in Ragnarok.
So, as you guys sit there kind of waiting, 5 minutes passes, 10 minutes passes. Avok, as you get more and more annoyed, your whistling becomes more and more blatant. You guys wait there for 20 minutes and nothing.
Oh, man.
What incredibly
Maybe we're not
loud
listening.
shit can we do? Let's just get the attention of this fucking dragon.
Ah,
Do we need to do that? We fought 2 yesterday. Can we not?
I mean, whatever you say. But it looks like the elves don't have what it takes anymore. I say loudly.
Oh, good.
You
Good.
guys
Definitely
watch
make
as
them angry.
Fade's chest explodes as 14 arrows go through where his heart used to be.
Jody!
No, nothing's happening.
Oh, man. What I do?
I mean, there could be many other places. This is just the first place we saw. Find the dragon.
And again, you guys are on the outskirts of a relatively wide area. So as you, if you go in and start working, I mean, there's acres and acres of area that you would have to explore to fully declare that there's no one there.
Oh,
I'm getting bored. Let's just walk in there.
man.
Dude,
Don't.
when we get to the if we ever find something that looks different from the rest of the surrounding forest, I'm like, dude, check this out. And I disguise self as Soul.
No.
What?
No.
Yep. Oh, I got all kinds of new wizard shit to do.
Can you replicate a real person with this guy's self?
You make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings, look different until the spell ends. You can't change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Otherwise, the extent of the illusion is up to you.
So, Avok, you watch as Fade turns into a really, like, bulky version of Soul.
Sup?
As you guys continue to go through the forest, you eventually come up to one of these crystalline trees.
Willow definitely tries to take a closer look.
I mean, this we learned from our quartermaster that these dragons are all about sound. Let's go ahead and knock on the doorbell / tree. Maybe you can hear the
I
reverberation.
want to.
What do you,
A
you
terrible
guys
but
wanna
good
do?
idea. Um, I mean, if you want to knock on,
Knock on wood. Except my desk is glass and metal, but
no, I just wanted to see if it was like it was a tree once that became emerald, or something that grew as an emerald
okay.
shaped like a tree.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
What a good thought. Maybe it eats trees and poops out crystal trees.
Or maybe this is a result of its proximity layers, you know.
Yeah, that's what I want to try and figure out. 26.
So as you start to get closer to it, you stop yourself about 30 feet away from it, and realize to answer that question, you don't have to get near the tree at all. All you need to do is look at the roots and look at the other trees around it. As much as forests are slightly random, they will follow certain natural patterns, to get enough light, things like that. You notice this tree, this crystalline tree, is actually growing up through the roots of another tree. It has actually severed them in places, which you confer with Kata for her natural expertise. That really shouldn't have happened. If two trees grew that close together, they would intertwine, they would grow around each other, they wouldn't cut through each other. So you get the idea that this tree was not a tree turned to crystal. This is a crystal designed to look like a tree.
So maybe it's underneath this.
And as you're kind of looking at it, you also start to realize there's almost like a buzzing in the air, and you can't really figure out where it's coming from. You try swatting away imaginary bugs, but there's nothing there. And as your hand goes through your hair, you get this small jolt of static electricity. You realize the air around this crystalline tree is charged.
Whoa.
I say don't touch it. Don't do it.
Don't touch the trees.
As Fade walks up to ring the doorbell, like he mentioned before.
Don't touch the tree.
What's wrong with the tree?
It,
Can't you feel that?
pretty shocking.
I mean, it feels a little weird. Wait, I'm sorry. And the but. I'm sorry. Shocking. What?
Don't touch the tree.
Or else it zaps.
Yeah.
Haylock, as you get close to where Willow is standing, you too kind of feel the hairs on your arm kind of stand up, and your axe actually starts to slightly ring as the electricity kind of dances over it.
Oh, that's a okay then.
Is this a, like... Is this an effect that could be dispelled?
You're not sure if it's magical or mechanical, but if you wanted to try dispel magic or even just detect magic would tell you something. You yourself, you are not aware of a natural occurrence that causes crystals to be electrified.
I tell my bird, my little raven, to go back to that first clearing we were at and go sit on a tree over there.
That clearing had no crystal trees in it.
Oh, okay. I thought that's why we landed there. Okay. Never mind.
You landed far enough away from the crystal trees so that you wouldn't get hurt.
Never mind.
Maybe, I don't know, can we be wind again today, Kata? I don't know how hard that is for you. Maybe we fly over. See how
You
far
can
it
just
goes.
walk.
Let's not touch them though. I don't know how thick it's gonna get.
I don't know what to do.
Well, Willow was just asking you, Kata, if you had the ability to cast Windwalk again today or not.
I have 1/7 level slot.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 7th level. Okay, I missed that. Okay.
It's a cool
Still.
spell. But
Yeah.
it's a powerful.
Mhm. So we can try walking through. We could camp out and try to flying over tomorrow. I don't know if either one is safe, but
We're here for a reason.
yep.
Okay. Camp out then.
How late is it, Jody?
At this point, you started mid-morning. It's been about 8 hours now, so you're getting late afternoon or early evening.
How about we walk a couple more hours until sun goes down, then we'll call it.
Okay.
Lead away, my friend.
Yep.
As
I'm gonna have Hawk go ahead of us a little bit and just like look around and report back if they see things before we get to it.
so, who's gonna lead?
Me.
Okay. So Avok, as you start walking, the direction you choose is going to take you close to the tree. And as you get closer and closer, your skin starts to tingle, and then it starts to almost hurt. There's so much electricity in the air, and you stop yourself and realize, based on Willow's warnings and everything, you think if you get any closer to the tree, and you're about 20 feet away from it at this point, if you get any closer to the tree, something bad is going to happen. There's enough electricity in the air that you feel like you'll get hit by something. So you kind of walk back and the feeling gets less. You kind of circle around the tree and you start to kind of make this map of your mind. There's about a 30-foot radius field around this tree. That closer you get, the more electricity is in the air. So after kind of figuring that out, you let the rest of the party know, hey, circumnavigate the tree, you get shocked.
Obviously, don't get too close to the goddamn tree. It's really fucked up.
Right.
And the rest of you guys get going and continue on. Evok, I'll just have you make me a survival check.
Sounds good. That's a 18.
So as you are as you are going, you notice kind of deer trails and things like that leading deeper into the forest. And as you look around, you do get flashbacks to the Feywild as you're going around, and like the trees, the leaves are exceptionally green here, and there's wildflowers on the floor, and the air has this kind of very fresh, uplifting scent to it. Unlike any of the other forests you've been in on this plane. It just kind of stays in the back of your mind that something about this area is different. Kata, as you circumnavigate that tree, you get this strange feeling as you go past it. You realize you don't have to look at it to know exactly where it is. Almost as if you have like a sharp stick or something stuck in your tunic, just kind of poking you. Not painful, but it's there. You don't really know why, but that tree just kind of sticks out in your mind's eye like a thorn. And as you go past it and get further away, it fades from your recollection. But it's just another thing that just doesn't quite seem right to you, or at least doesn't quite seem normal to you. You guys continue traveling for another hour and don't really run into too much trouble. Avok, as you're going, you do stop the party for a moment when you see a pair of displacer beasts ahead.
We were tracking these things so long ago. We never found them.
Did we?
Yeah, they went. That's how we ended up finding the hags. We were chasing displacer beasts because I wanted to skin them and make a cloak.
Oh god, that's right.
I kind of want to do it again.
No.
You're welcome to. Avok stops you guys before they notice you're there.
I don't do anything.
You kind of wait for 5-10 minutes, and they wander off, and you keep going. You do discover two more crystal trees just like that one as you're going, but you avoid them the same way. You finally get to the point where, with the combination of thick canopy and the late hour, you can't see more than about 10 or 15 feet in front of you without some sort of light.
Damn it.
You do find an area you think will be suitable for a campsite.
Well,
Any area's a campsite when you talk to my girl.
True.
Or an area where you could put a door.
door.
You can put it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I put a door on my door, so now we have a new door.
So, rest for the night, and then we'll start again in the morning.
Yeah. Fuck. What the fucking hell?
Can I mean, I'm no good at this, but I want to go back our trail, I don't know, 100 feet or so, and try to take a stick and make it look like we didn't, cover our tracks a little bit, so they don't. Yeah, I want them to not be led right to our door for the morning when we wake up.
Sure. Make me a survival check. With disadvantage, seeing as you're not particularly good at hiding your tracks.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I considered casting Pass Without a Trace, but since we
Hours.
wanted to be found, I decided against it. I'm sorry.
No,
So-
that's reasonable.
My good roll with disadvantage is a whopping 9.
Yep. So you made it more obvious, is what happened.
I mean, probably.
So, Fade, as you go and you can see some faint footprints and things like that. You find a kind of fallen tree branch with a bunch of leaves on it. You pick it up and you use it to kind of sweep away the footprints, not realizing you're also sweeping away any and all debris on the ground.
So I have like a rake. Yeah, that seems right.
So you make this lovely path of nothing.
I mean, at least we'll find them. They're going to come right for us.
It's okay. The door's invisible.
Oh my god, there's nothing you do that isn't amazing.
Keep it in your pants.
So I'm assuming you guys set camp for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My raven flies by Avok and whispers, I love you, in his ear.
Oh, shit, they can talk, can't they? Ravens can imitate speech and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, Avok, you hear a kind of creepy I love you in your ear.
Dink, it's dead.
You hear this I love you, and then you guys all go in, settle down in your mansion. And that is where we're going to, unfortunately, leave it for tonight.
Okay.
As always, if you missed any of the show, check it out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Trainer Jody. You can follow me on Twitter, though I'm been a little quiet there for reasons, and may continue to be for a little bit. But the YouTube channels where you can see all this, and tune back in Wednesday nights for more D&D. Next week it'll be my other campaign, and then this one and next one. Yeah, it just keeps going like that. Otherwise, night Bronco. Always nice to see you. Otherwise, that's all for me tonight. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye bye.
Bye, me.